Hello, 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 and welcome to another RANGROOCAST with me, Rangaroo, and today we're on another Clash of the Clans tournament match in a 4v run. Yes, you heard me correctly, 4v run. On the Nato side, we have Wolfeater. Just Wolfeater alone. And on Pact, we have Captains Tursark, Trusty, and Zukadim. The map is Telemark, so let's speed things up and get things going. This is quite interesting, as one guy is going to command to so many units and so much map by himself. The odds aren't really looking good, I have to say. Only a minute now. Is that quite an interesting matchup, I have to say, but Wolfeater is known to be a very good player. He also streams, same with Captains and Tursark, I should say. Anytime. And away we go, no planes off the bat. Wolfeater getting, seems like he's playing an 80s NATO's deck. NATO's, yeah, seems like an 80s NATO deck. So, quite an interesting choice. Speed things up, everyone gets a position. So 27 off the bat. Tomcats and try shoot that down. Quite a lot of Tomcats and Drakens from Wolfeater. Draken's gonna go to try to get a helicopter. Nope. The Sokol's getting a few shots off here and there. Oh, he does get the helicopter. And he's an evac. Yep, get them out of there. One Draken does get shot down, but only like 40 points, so it doesn't matter too much. Huey's landing. Let's bring in some Huey's round the back here. Doing some sneaky business. Just managed to get a lot of light riflemen into his town, and Captains is moving right up into here. BTL's taking the bait. And he's not going to be able to move up for a little bit. Like Rifleman does have an ATGM. It isn't all that powerful, but it does have the range. And the range is quite nice. 4 Chieftains moving up north. Or up west. Going into the forest. Draken coming in. Yeah, MI2 is going to have a bad day. Boom, boom, boom. Draken is really good for killing helicopters because it's cheap and it has air-to-air rockets, so it's crazy good. It seems like Wolfeater did manage to take control of Foxtrot. It does kind of have an advantage on the Foxtrot side, as he has this little town that he can garrison. Well, for Pact or Rot team, not too much. SU7 coming in for a napalm run. Dropping the flames, but Eyehawks are going to shoot that down. The Chieftains did get spotted in quite a lot of T-72s overlooking their position. And try and move up to kill them. Oh, Chieftains are going to pop out. And, yep, they do get one T-72. Battle of the Cannons, the Chieftains are getting messed up quite a bit. Over here, more Chieftains being brought up. Wolfeater really liking his Chieftain Mark 10s. Moving up along the road into ATGM hell. Getting shot at by all sides. Right in the open, that isn't a position I'd want to be in. Let's keep moving them up. MiG-27 coming in for a ATGM run. The Rolands are going to try and get him down. But it's a managed to do. This is volley after volley. It's not looking good. More infantry moving up, or Captain's moving up somewhat directly into his town here to deal with these units, but the Chieftains and AMXs Slowly picking him off from long range. Jaguars are also coming up. And they get some shots off. Speed things up, there's not much going on. Oh, up here actually. Leopard 2's being brought up. Very, very good tanks, I have to say. Especially for an 80s deck. It's taking forever to reload his gun. T-72 is going to get close range shot. But these light riflemen are going to give him a bit of a hard time. But most of the ATGMs do miss. Pact does note that there is shit in this forest. What are they going to do? I have no idea. Yeah, this must be pretty hard for Warfeater because he has to control all of these units. All of these units by himself, so he has to focus on all the areas. I mean, that's kind of crazy. It's a little bit cocky doing a 1v4. Maybe he had no one else to play with him. But it is quite funny nonetheless, and it's a very interesting effort, I have to say. And he's doing a pretty good job holding off. I like to say it's really just a battle of the mouses. You have 4 mouses versus run. You can do a lot more clicking with 4 in run. Just basic math, yeah. Island's getting some long range shot on the Jaguars. And he's still holding on to his town quite well, as he'll kind of giving him a bit of a buffer point between the Pact forces and the NATOs. Those special donchies, can they see? Yep, it does see the AA all here. Maybe I can do something about that. No, maybe a few bombing runs, artillery shots. Because that's 4 Nighthawks. That's quite expensive and very, very easy to kill. So basically have cardboard armor. More chieftains moving up. Light riflemen trying to get some shots on the BMP2s. The BMP2 does try to reverse out of here. Yeah, Jaguars move up, but there's hail of gunfire and missile fire, so he's going to pull out. The captain is having a hard time trying to secure this hill. It's quite heavily defended, but over here it's not really too much stopping the Pact forces, and it seems like Trustee is making most of it by moving up. So he has really nothing here at all. And do manage to take control of India. The Warfeater's going to have to bring up some tanks or some defensive units to go for, I have to say. Oh, it's Chieftain getting a bit of a flank around the back of the Pact forces. Where did that come from? I do not know. But he is kind of in between everything. Oh, an Mi-24 is going to come up and deal with that little bug here. Fine, its rocket. And the ATGM on the side should get it knocked out. Artillery being dropped on the AA here. He has a lot of Eyehawks, and Rolands. I don't know if you do like a 1v4, if you're like the one player, if you get an availability advantage. I'm not entirely sure. I think you should get an availability advantage, but I've never really done a 1v4 before, so I would not know. Captains does spot the enemy CV, it seems, on Foxtrot. What is he going to do about it? Not entirely sure. It's kind of... Oh, now he's moving with Devkas. An Mi-24. hovering over. Oh, lots of napalm being dropped on that forest. And these leopard 2s are taking shot after shot on the T-72s. But don't really stand a chance, I have to say. See, there goes one. And the crappy ones are moving up. And goes the other. So 10 minutes into the match, Pact is in a point advantage by 100. Speed things up a wee bit. Not much is going on. Sorry, been very passive both sides, I have to say. Indeed. Seems like Wolfeater is moving up his forces into Charlie, and there's quite a lot of units here. A lot of ATGMs, infantry out in the open. Very interesting, I have to say. And it's not what's in Charlie. It's really stopped Wolfeater from moving up. Especially in this end. But Captain does have some of his units down here, which will probably deal with a push if they move up too far. Or Wolfeater himself moves up too far. Trusty placing down some attack markers. And that is a lot of tanks from Zuko. Really liking his T-72 BIs or B-runs. Same with Trusty with his T-64s and yeah, even a T-80. Only a few chieftains and AMX harpoons defending the Gulf side. Over here, CV's being brought up by Wolfeater. But Terzak has managed to spot them. And these fabs getting some shots off. Let's speed things up yet again. Huey's moving around. And Tunguska's going to take some pot shots off him and takes him down with relative ease. Ooh, mortars firing very close range into that forest head, knocking out some of the AA and harpoons being brought up. Very fun little 20-point tank, I have to say. And Chieftain taking some pot shots at the Jaguar, Jaguar, however you want to say it. Zuko moving his T-72 force up into Gulf. They're going to crest over the hill. Oh, no, he is not going to do that. He's going to reverse him back. No more harpoons and even a few Leopard 2s being brought up by Wolfeater to defend the Gulf side. Pact are still gaining points slowly but surely. Jaguar's moving up, going to get some side shots on the harpoons, but it doesn't really matter where you shoot a harpoon because it really just has no armour. Leopard 2's also moving up. The C-72 Jaguar kind of holding the point. T-64 BVI's row. Here's an res out there. Doesn't really stand a chance against that force. So Wolfeater's really been very aggressive up north. Hopefully he can be more aggressive, maybe pushing to Charlie and Juliet. Because he is starting to lose the east side, as you can see. And yet, things are coming to a standstill. Charlie has been neutralised thanks to this CV. AMX harpoons moving up into the open. And the T-64 BVI is not going to really have any of that. Never mind. Again, Get an ATGM from far right. Tunguska gonna raise some of its ammo in a empty Huey. And Zuko really has quite a big tank force, same with Trusty on this side. I'm gonna try to move up this little hill and yeah. I kind of figure I can't move up through that forest. The only way you can really get to go is through this little slope and this little slope. And Wolfeater kind of has tanks surrounding both of him. So I don't really want to push up, it seems. Don't want to risk our tanks. Even though our tank force could easily kind of knock out everything here, I have to say. So I start getting some recon around the flank to see where the enemy tank forces are. More artillery being dropped, hitting them not directly. It's a right in the open, but that's the missing not directly, as you can see. Just get the transport, Joe. It makes Harpoon firing its gun quite rapidly on the open infantry. Spetsnaz in the forest. They're going to try to get a flank around. Yet they do manage to get something there using the sniper rifles. A one-hit kill the light rifleman. Not directly moving up. Harpoon's not going to have too good of a time. Units moving up into Foxtrot. Seems like it managed to neutralise all the AA and all infantry in the town here. So I now have control of it thanks to T-64s and T-72s. Over here, Trusty moving up his units, trying to hold this little hill here. BMPTs and BMPs. And it's not really too much here to stop in. Leopard 2's going to move up that hill to deal with the force. It's going to give the BMPT a run for its money. If it can see the BMPT. Which it does. Now it's going to engage. Over here, moving up into Foxtrot. Wolfeater doesn't have much left. He is getting pushed back. NATO is at half the points they need to win the match. It isn't really looking good for Wolfeater, I have to say. He's starting to get pushed quite hard on the Gulf side. Zigo keeps skirmishing his tank forces back and forth, back and forth. Honestly, does this missile hit the ground or will it explode? Or would this be a dud? Oh, it does explode. The more you know. Just makes a little mark right, yeah. Cool little effect, I have to say. Don't know where I'm noticing so much. Still has his Redevkas right in the middle of the NATO army, spotting everything that they can. Very good placement, I have to say. Been pretty useful the entire match. It makes Harpoon get an auto-cannoned. Same with these Marauders moving up. All the runny runs. Now, Patrat plus 3 points. It really isn't looking good for Wolfeater. I say, Rot has the game in their hands. Let's speed things up and get this over with. Unless Wolfeater can do some amazing push, but it doesn't seem so. It doesn't seem so. Trusty moving up his tanks through Alpha, right into the heart of NATO force, completely ignoring Gulf. And Wolfeater resigns, and that is a good game at 22 minutes. Pact has managed to secure basically a clear victory. 5,000 to 2,000, which is very good for him. Wolfeater did do a pretty bloody good job holding off by himself. It was a battle of mouses, as I already mentioned. One mouse versus 4. The 4 is most likely going to win, unless you have really good APM. But Rot is going to move up to the next round. This has been the RANGROOCAST. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.